You're watching the Mr. Quality Guy YouTube channel. Hello everyone, Mr. Quality Guy here, and today we are doing a video on even more tools. And this time we're going to look at some of my favorite measurement tools to use, and that is the CMM. Now, the CMM is known as a coordinated measuring machine, or coordinate measuring machine, and they are a CNC controlled measurement device that are extremely versatile in many different ways. So we're going to look at a couple of different ones and go through, what they're used for and how they could potentially help you. So sit back, relax, and let's get right to it. Alrighty, so when we're talking about CMMs, there's really multiple different kinds of CMMs out there, but we're going to look essentially at your run-of-the-mill standard CMMs. And we're going to look at three different ones. We're going to look at starting here with the Mitutoyo Krista Apex V500, 700, 900. Now, when you see numbers like 500, 700, 900, that's basically going to tell you the dimensions that it can measure within. For example, 500 in the Z, 700 in the X, or 900 in the Y. I'd have to look more to tell you exactly which dimensions this one are in, but that's generally what your numbers are going to mean there. And the nice thing about CMMs is they're extremely versatile. You can measure practically anything with a CMM as long as you have the right size probe on there. And a CMM uses a probe and a module to essentially touch off on the parts. These are fully programmable in CNC, and you can either program off of a CAD model or program with no CAD model. They're one of the most versatile tools used in quality and are very helpful in telling you how your part is. They can be used to make adjustments to machines. They could be used for practically anything. And the wonderful thing about CMMs is the resolution that you get off of them. Now, this one is equipped with a Renishaw probe system, so you are slightly limited to that, but your resolution is in the fourth decimal place for metric, which is we're talking a tenth of a micron, which is extremely tight. The downside to CMMs is they generally need to be within a certain environment. There are exceptions to that rule, of course. That being like shop floor CMMs, and a lot of times you can run something called temperature compensation to correct that. But as we can see, we have quite a bit of versatility on the CMM. We can measure workpieces that are extremely large and heavy. We can measure very large workpieces. These are really great tools all around. And on top of that, we can easily measure an inch and metric. With a click of a button, we can change it. Mitutoyo is one of a fantastic CMM maker. I don't really have any experience personally using them, but I have worked with a lot of companies that have, and I've never heard a complaint from one. But we go to one of my favorite CMMs, and that is the Zeiss Acura. Now, the Zeiss Acura, is just a really fantastic machine, but Zeiss machines are definitely more your premium, more expensive machine, but with that you get unrivaled accuracy. When we take a look at our error in the measurement range, we are length measurement error E0 and UM. That means we are in the 5th and 6th decimal place for metric. Zeiss tends to run a program called Measurement Hero, where they will do a competition of who can measure the smallest object and a lot of times you'll see it within use on their CMMs. The different thing about Zeiss compared to others is they tend to use what is known as a fixed probe system. With stuff, you can get a rotational probe similar to a Renishaw PH10 called the RDS, which is fantastic and it's great for multi-angles. But Zeiss's are a fantastic CMM, and they run a software, generally speaking, called Calypso. Calypso is one of two of your most common softwares that are found, and it's my personal favorite software to program in. And then we go to our final type that we're going to look over today, and that is the Hexagon Global S. Now, Hexagon, what they did is they're a conglomerate, and they purchased Brown & Sharp and some other metrology companies and formed Hexagon. So, if you're wondering how you heard Hexagon, well, if you're familiar with PC-DEMIS, Hexagon is a company that basically runs PC-DEMIS. And PC-DEMIS is a software that can pretty much run on pretty much any CMM out there, which is a great thing about it. I program in PC-DEMIS, of course, an older version 3.7, but it's just a good software that works, even if you run into the PC demons. The nice thing about these types of CMMs is they're generally pretty simple, and for cost or performance, it's pretty hard to beat. They're generally around half the cost of Zeiss CMMs. But also, yet again, they've come with all sorts of cool and interesting things. Each different type of CMM is going to have its positives and negatives. When it comes to a Zeiss, your service and your calibration costs are going to be quite a bit higher than it would be on a Global or a Krista. Meanwhile, if you're running a Krista with their software, you might have a problem finding someone who can program in Mitutoyo's software. Meanwhile, with Zeiss's software and Hexagon software, the ability to find a programmer is going to be probably a little bit better. So each machine and each company has their pluses and minuses. So that's just a little overview on a couple of CMMs, a couple different CMM types. If you guys are interested in more CMM content, don't hesitate to make a comment down below. Okay, guys, so that was a video on just a couple of different types of CMMs and just some of the stuff they can do. I could go on for hours on CMMs, but just a quick little bite on how they work. So if you're interested in more content about CMMs, don't hesitate to ask down below. I'll see you guys again next week. So thank you and have a great day.